Here we go again. Oh Lord. Here we go. What the hell? Oh, let me mute this. Oh. It's the voice comparisons. Well, how about that? Oh, okay. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's back at it again. Sorry. I was distracted because I was actually a bunch of stupid shit happened. Mother came over here, fucked me up, ordered food, tried to eat it. Almost done, but not all the way done, fucked me up. And then I tried to watch some trailers or some live reactions for Tears of the Kingdom to kind of get a gist of where everyone was at, opinion wise, when it comes to this trailer. And I kind of got lost in that too. And then obviously the final of Finals of Fetuses. The feet of a final of fetuses. The final for final of fetuses. I'll feed saying. I have problems, yo. I have absolute issues. I need to chill the fuck out. Never. 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 Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I can't do it. Can't be bothered. But hopefully everyone's doing good tonight. Hopefully you all are doing well. I hope life is being kind to you. But let's see. Put this in here. We'll put in there just in case people are interested. You may not be, but in case you are, yeah. But hey, what's up, guys? Hey, Orion Sword. Hey, Donnie. Hey, Mr. Voti. Hope you're doing well. We're gonna talk about some stuff. I'm just skimming through some clips real quick. I also need to re-put up the where the hell is it? That's Cage's reactions. We don't need that. Where's that state of play? That's pretty much Final Fantasy 16. How people feel about it. I've heard generally positive things. Even though in the chat it was kind of weird. Oh, let's see. Sorry, I thought I was tripping. I thought I heard a knock. That could be me losing my fucking mind. Instead of trash with something, we talk about how that game has. I mean, people seem to be excited about it. All things considered, I did see comments during the stream talking about how they weren't excited for the game. I'm just curious though. I'll be honest though, if it wasn't not a Final Fantasy game, it might be more exciting. So what you're really saying is that the game in itself doesn't look trash. It, as a Final Fantasy game, looks trash because of what it's supposed to be. Considering this is really, I'm actually just skimming through the footage again because I looked at it a little bit yesterday, but I didn't go through the rest of it like I was supposed to. So I'm kind of just skimming through it in certain aspects because people were kind of talking about some things that I feel like I should acknowledge properly, which is that like the version of Final Fantasy that most of us are fans of hasn't existed for like over a decade. I think it's been like a decade. Like Final Fantasy X came out towards the end of the PlayStation 2 era, which was like, and the PS3 started in what, 2006. So it's been over a decade since we got. I think Final Fantasy 13 was the last traditional type game we got. Even though I don't have an interest in, I mean not 10. I'm sorry, I meant 13. I'm sorry. 13 was the last traditional kind of gameplay we got, and even that, and most people don't even like that game. So Final Fantasy 13 was the last game we got, and it's been like a decade. You really can't tell this is Final Fantasy in any way, shape, or form. Like it's literally like 15, where even 15 doesn't look like Final Fantasy anymore. But I guess the question is it that these games don't look like Final Fantasy, or that Final Fantasy's look has changed and we're just not used to it yet. Particularly because a lot of the games afterwards have been very hit and miss. Like, for example, like, let's be real here. 13 came out, we got its two sequels, and people kind of looked at the 13 trilogy and went, yeah, I don't want this. Then 14 came out. Hey, Navy. Then 14 came out, and 14 was kind of rough in the beginning, and then gradually became one of the best like MMOs in the market that people love to death. People still love to death, right? So 14 started off rough, but gained steam properly. Then we talk about 15, which suffers the same problem, where the first version of 15 is kind of rough. Even though that game was also in development hell as well, but still, it's kind of rough, right? Am I just going to get notified to death, phone? Phone, do you want to talk? I'm just curious. Because you've gone off like 2 times, and nothing important has popped up on your fucking screen. So I'm trying to figure out what the hell you're bleeping about. Shut your dumb ass up. I got problems, y'all. Anyways, the point is that Final Fantasy 15 came out, and people are like, yeah, it's kind of rough. It's pretty rough. So it took 15 like what DLC and patches and like a fucking another edition of it before it got to the point where people were like, all right, yeah, we kind of fuck with it now. I'm not saying it was trash when its initial release, but people just weren't happy with it. People all looked at 15 and went, that shit ain't done. So it's funny because we always talk about how for 10 years they've been trying to, Final Fantasy hasn't been this. I'm like, yeah, but for 10 years Final Fantasy also hasn't been good. Like almost every game has had some sort of problem. And in the long, it's doing that long run bullshit where people are like, well, Final Fantasy 13 was just dog shit. And in some cases, it got better, and in a lot of cases, it got worse. 14 had a rough start, but became a fucking juggernaut, but it wasn't really traditional Final Fantasy. It was an MMO. And then we hit 15, where 15 had a rough start and eventually got better too. But it's another one of those you had to kind of wait. Like, none of these games have been good off the gate. They've all been okay at best and terrible at worst. And then had to slowly rebuild itself to be a competent game. 16 is like is the first Final Fantasy since like 13 that's from the ground up has an idea, a vision of what it wants to do. And at least this game will looks finished if nothing else. So this will be the first Final Fantasy game that gets judged on its actual launch merits alone. Because the other ones have been judged after post-launch fixes. I'm not saying that that's be-all, end-all. Like, even at the end of it, like, and I'm curious. Not that boy band. All right, listen. Those in the chat, I need a yay or nay. Actually, I need a yay, nay, or mixed for Final Fantasy 15. 15. I'm talking about 15. At the end of where we're at currently, how do you feel about Final Fantasy 15? Oh, that's right. The Pixel remasters come out next week, right? They come out on the 19th, right? Watch me get that fucking date wrong. Is it the 19th? So Navy fucks with 15. Mixed. 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 So 15 seems to have a more general consensus of being mixed than good or bad. Then we got a bunch of nays. Jesus Christ, y'all are some savages, bro. So it's literally getting mixed to negative reviews and I mean, granted, this is a small sample size. There's only like 15 people. So it's not really like a fair judgment of the entirety of 15. But I'm just curious to see what like a small sample size would say. So with that being stated, how do y'all feel about 16? Because very much 16 looks like an extension of 15 with just better. It's just a better version of 15. So if you fuck with 15, you probably will fuck with 16. but I give the PC port a yay. Though GG Square Enix GG. Okay, Donnie, damn. I'm still not a fan of that. We're still stuck in this weird we can't play as multiple characters shit. I mean, no, but 16 is Western. Like, let's be real here. Final Fantasy's been going into Western game design since like 13, honestly. 13 had elements of it. People argue that 10 has elements of it. Like, it's very, and you know the reason why, don't you? It's because Japan don't buy games like Americans buy games. So what that means is that if they want to make money, any real money, you need to appeal to your general audience. And Final Fantasy is one of your biggest IP, if not your biggest IP. So how do you make the most money off of your biggest IP? You focus on the American gamer. And what does the American gamer like? Narratives and narratives and open world games. It's kind of funny, but it fucks with like either hardcore narratives or open world games. And this game seems to be trying to do both. Wow, Ryan, you savage. If they want to make money, they should just put it on Switch. Oh, chill out, Mel. I'm just talking about in general. Final Fantasy in general wants to be a more Western game. Even the fantasy element of this one is medieval fantasy, which is more Western fantasy. They're like knights in armor. This is like taking place in like low-key medieval times. This game very much is following a more Western thought process almost in its entirety, which in some ways I can imagine. Hell, I think this game's dub is what's being shown. I think it has like, does it even have I think it has like Japanese subtitles. They very much are pushing the American version. They're pushing like this for Americans. This game is meant for Americans. 16 tries to be everything but an RPG. Rail shooting, enemy elements, pass. Not spending $70, just gonna wait for the review and price cut. The game's dub is UK based. So yeah, a more Western feel. It's not like fully American, but it's more Western. You're not going to, because they still view this as Final Fantasy. But realistically, it's just a different direction. I think the problem I have with it, and I think it kind of goes into the Orion Sword's point, is that this shit barely feels like Final. The problem is what makes the Final Fantasy? What does a game have to be a Final Fantasy game? Son of a bitch! What are you notifying me of, phone? There's nothing on the fucking screen. So fucking stupid. 16 final what now? Didn't see one tweet about it. Just a ton of. Actually, that's true. Here's the kicker. Here's a fun little game. All right, so obviously the State of Play and the Breath of the Wild trailer, or the Tears of the Kingdom trailer, came out at the same damn day, right? Obviously different times, but still. So Zelda has some views, and the State of Play has some views. If you ask the public who has the bigger views, I think we all know who has more views on their video, right? But if you ask me, how crazy is the deficit between the videos, without looking it up, if you looked it up, don't even answer. How big is the view deficit from Tears of the Kingdom to the Final Fantasy 16 State of Play? I'm just curious. How bad do you think the deficit is? I'll give you a starting point. Fucking Tears of the Kingdom has 5 million views. How much less do you think the fucking the State of Play has? How much less views does the State of Play have in comparison to the 5 million that Zelda has? Like I said, if you've seen the views, don't guess. I'm mainly for those who have not seen. If you haven't looked at the videos to see, just tell me. I already know. I'm looking at it right now. I'm actually watching the State of Play over in the background. Anyone else want to guess before I make a point? Oh, was it 5.6? Holy shit. It was at 5 million a few hours. Well, I should know more. So, A lot of you were saying 4 million difference, and it's actually technically based off of those new view numbers. If I take account Juice's new Tears of the Kingdom trailer view numbers, it's actually 5 million. Like, so currently the Final Fantasy 16 state of play has less than 500k views. Is at like 494,000. Now that's the English one. I guess I could be favorable and see if any of the other ones have better views, and I'll humor it. No, the American one is the best of them. Well, no, that's not. Okay, never mind. I lied. So the PlayStation one, that is just, why is this one different? It's essentially the same direct, but it's just not labeled as the state of play. It's labeled Final Fantasy 16 state of play 4. Oh, it's the 4K version. So the 4K version of it has almost 1 million. It's at like 700,000. So then it would be a deficit of about 4 million, a little bit over 4 million. I didn't even know the Horizon DLC trailer came out, bro. That, Juice, you were the first person I have heard talk about that damn trailer. I didn't even know that trailer was out. So that's new information for me personally. But yeah, so needless to say, Zelda beat the shit out of Final Fantasy. Now, to me, it's not really the same thing because Zelda's been hyped up for, well, no, 16's been hyped up for years too. And you got more gameplay footage from 16. And 16 comes out later. I think that's the funny thing. 16 comes out, what, in June, doesn't it? It comes out in June, and it had more gameplay footage, and somehow still lost to a 3-minute trailer that showed a lot, but didn't show a lot. Like, which is hilarious in retrospect. The For Horizon DLC launches at 400. I mean, that's not bad, all things considered, considering where it could have been. But I mean, okay, so, but yeah. You guys didn't hear about Horizon, just wait until E3. Wait, oh, you mean the E3 that doesn't exist? Is that E3 you're talking about? The E3 that isn't currently going on because, it was canceled? Why am I getting notified like a motherfucker? Everything wants to go off in the background. It's pissing me off. Why does this shit keep happening to me? I hate it. But yeah. The Tears of the Kingdom gameplay video was at 6. See? Zelda, to be fair, Zelda's no, that's not even true either. I think Final Fantasy just doesn't hit the same way. Also because they've been showing a lot of Final Fantasy. Like, even without this 25-minute gameplay thing, we had seen a lot of Final Fantasy anyway. I think you get to see some more elements in this particular state of play, but like a lot of footage for Final Fantasy came out. Not even like, what was it, a month ago? If that? I don't even think it was that. I think it was like, no, it probably was last month. So like, we've seen a lot of it. Chris Pratt versus over Charles. Wow, Mel, that's crazy. Yeah, 6.6 million peeps heard that English Zelda point is still mid as, wow, Donnie, you ain't shit. I think the majority of Zelda fans know what to expect from the gameplay. Well, that's true, but the point I'm making is that like, Zelda is still generating this kind of hype, and you got Final Fantasy over here not even getting close to the same. Also, because I think people are still mixed on Final Fantasy. People gotta remember, like, Final Fantasy has been in a bit of a lull for like almost a decade, actually over a decade at this point. So like 16 is the closest the gamers have to an experience that could easily be great. But then all they had to do is turn around and look into the past and go, oh fuck, there was 15. Well, then the 16 looks, oh, fuck, there was, oh, fuck, 14. 14 is a good game, but 14 wasn't the game we really wanted because it was an MMO. Well, wait a minute, 16 looks, oh, fuck, 13. Yeah, man, but, and then people, like, and that's how people have been. Like, I don't know, what is the last good Final Fantasy to most people? Because I think people are just going to say 10. They're not even going to say 10 too. I think most people are going to end up saying 10. What is the last good Final Fantasy for you guys? Like, out of curiosity. Well, I get fucking notified to death. What the fuck are they doing? I think I'm just watching chaos now. So let's see, 10, 12, 9. I didn't really like 12 and 11 was MMO. 10 was the last best Final Fantasy game. So think about this. We're on 16, and most people's last favorite was 10. 10 or 12, which means it's either been somewhere between 4 and 6 games to get a quality, good Final Fantasy game. And no, Kingdom Hearts is not a Final Fantasy game. If anything, you can tell they took a lot of Kingdom Hearts in the basis for Final Fantasy 15 and 16, which is that whole marriage of like combat and like RPG elements, like using magic and shit. It very much is using the like guts in the fucking skeletal structure of Kingdom Hearts to then have Final Fantasy stand up. We mean nah. Dynasty Truth, you can look this up. Final Fantasy was underperformed and well over the last decade in terms of sales to budget. Wait, what, Chidori? Huh? I'm tripping. Final Fantasy has never really sold well enough to justify Square's investment. I wouldn't say it never. It may have lately. 16 was the beta for 7 remake. Well, technically they all use unfortunately they're all using a similar combat system, which I don't know how I feel about because it's like a halfway. I would say PS1 Final Fantasy is the peak of it. That's a ballsy statement, latency. Final Fantasy 16 doesn't even look or feel like a Final Fantasy game. Also, what's up, Terrell? Hey, Antrite. I can't agree with that considering Final 15 did well for them. Yeah, like, we like to pretend like, and I think that's another realization I had to come to. These games do sell well. Now, do they deserve to? That's a whole other conversation. But they do sell well for them, which is why they keep going in that direction. Think about it. Realistically, at this point, considering how much hell it's been to get some of these games off the fucking ground, it's kind of like, why would you keep making them if they weren't making any money? Well, it's because they're making the money still. Like, openly. It's like, hey, we're getting paid off of fucking these games. Fuck what these old school fans are saying. These old school fans are sitting here making claims that these games aren't what they want, but yet people keep buying them. And like I said, it's because the Western audience fucks with these kind of games more than they fuck with 10, 9, 7. Well, 7's a phenomenon. 7 and I would say 7 is like the outlier. Final Fantasy 12 felt like the beta version of Xenoblade game. It's still enjoyable though. Final Fantasy 15 barely broke even, and that took a re-release post DLC. To put into perspective, Deus Ex sold 6 million copies and was considered a flop, with nowhere near the budget for Final Fantasy 15. To be fair, it's not that the game didn't make money, it's that Square wanted it to make an absurd amount of money. That's the problem that comes with Square. Square did the same shit to Tomb Raider. Remember Tomb Raider, the first Tomb Raider sold like 3 million, and they were like, this is not what we wanted. This is a flop. And you were like, it's 3 million for a reboot. That's pretty fucking good. Are you shitting me? Like, Square just has unrealistic like expectations, unfortunately. Well, that's not even really an argument I'm willing to bet on, because I don't think anyone would lose if they bet on Zelda to win that. Actually, let me see though. Final Fantasy 15. I need sales versus budget, because that'll give me an idea of what we're dealing with. I mean, 2E was already kind of screwed anyway. 2E was screwed no matter what. So let's see. They were happy once using. The person goes to me. I said it reached the target. Let's see. Let's see. Let me see. Final Fantasy 15 broke even with its development costs on launch day. That's what it's saying. I'm looking up right now just to check. 2 was always a passion project by Nomura. It's never going to be a mainstream big. No. And the second game, unfortunately, didn't do well enough for them anyway. The problem is you can't tell if it didn't do well in the context of like, if it didn't do well because it genuinely just didn't have good sales, or didn't do well in terms of it didn't do well in terms of what Square wanted it to do. So right now, Final Fantasy 15 is sitting at 10 million copies, a little bit over 10 million. Let's see. I'm trying to see. They don't really tell me how much it needed to sell. Yeah, I'm not saying the easiest way to figure out how much it needed to sell is that I just know it needed essentially it sold what it needed to do. But the argument seems to be that it broke even at launch, and then over the course of time, it sold better. Even with I just looked it up. Even with the Tomb Raider sales, from what it looked up, when it sold 3 million at launch, they were mad because they thought it would sell 5 million, and then eventually went on to sell more than they wanted it to sell to begin with. It took it longer. Square, it seems to be really fucking. Look at Octopath Traveler 2. Nintendo did all the work for that one. Of course they did. You know why? Well, that's unfortunately the punishment. The Octopath situation is an example of what happens to Nintendo a lot, actually. Where a budding game series starts on a Nintendo console, and then when it blows up or gets more popular, then it gets pushed to every other console. Now, they did this a lot with the Game Boy Advance and the DS and even the 3DS. Things like Resident Evil Revelations, like fucking things like Shin Megami Tensei that went through a period where it was like popular, then it died, and then it lost to its younger brother, Persona, and then ended up being essentially a handheld console game for a little bit, and then regained its console status. Like, shit. 10 million copies after being in development for a decade is absurd. Yeah, absolutely. Ah, shit, what did I just do? Just pulled off a scab like a dumbass. It was in development for 5 years, not 10, considering Final Fantasy 15 is compared to versus 13. Shin Megami Tensei is the side series now. Unfortunately, not even in terms of quality, just in terms of it being less popular than Persona. I don't think you understand just how much money was pumped into this. Not mentioning the marketing, the tie with Samsung, and the Audi 15. Jesus Christ, that's insane. But like, as far as the marketing thing with Octopath 2, just to get back on that real quick, that's always been kind of an issue where like Nintendo will boost the game, and then the game essentially, also SMT had hit a million way before Persona did. No, but I'm talking about popularity. Like in popularity, Persona is considered the more popular franchise of the two. Most people won't even touch Shin Megami Tensei. Even putting it on the 3DS, people didn't. I almost said the N word. People still don't touch SMT at the same time. And I'm pretty sure Persona's made more money than SMT, unfortunately. It doesn't mean he's trying to be mean. I think it generally has just made more money. Whether or not it was by choice is. Oh yeah, definitely. It didn't go mainstream until 4. You're right. You were absolutely right. It did not go mainstream until 4. But when 4 blew up, 4 blew all the way up. When 4 blew up, it was nuts. And then 5 just carried on that momentum. So where now Persona is just as is insanely mainstream. And SMT's in the back like, bro, I'm your brother. I'm like, yeah, but I'm better than you. And it's like, fuck, bro. He's low key right. What do you mean he low key? Like, bro, look, man. There's a rumor that some of the SMT games are coming to Game Pass. Could be Alice has finally gotten off of that weird unofficial official exclusive thing they've been doing with the consoles, where for some reason Persona got delegated to Sony and Nintendo got SMT, which is hilarious that Nintendo got the main IP but still ended up getting screwed because Persona had just blew up. Persona blew all the way up. And it's like, yeah, we got the main IP. And the thing is, I don't even know if that was an agreement. I think Atlas just thought that was the best idea. Although there has been rumors recently of a Persona 3 remake, which if that comes, it comes. I'm not real. I'm excited about it, but still, the little bro being the cock out of the big bro. Unfortunately, absolutely. The Square is weird about its marketing, and there's also a realization that Square is still appeasing its old school RPG fans. It's just not gonna do it on a big stage anymore. Like the difference is that are we still getting turn-based RPGs from Square? Yes, we are. Are we still getting consistent amounts of them? Yes, we are. But we're not gonna get like graphical showcase turn-based games anymore. Like the graphical showcase games, the games on the center stage, the game that will be like the headliner of Square's conferences and shit is not gonna be the fucking the wait your turn, press a button and then you attack. They're not doing that anymore. Unfortunately, what's gonna happen now is that Final Fantasy will stay in its action side. It will stay as an action RPG, emphasis on action, right? And the turn-based game is now the side game. So as the ones that Justin brought up, Dragon Quest, side game, Bravely Default, side game, Octopath, side game. And some of you would go, what do you mean? Dragon Quest is popular as fuck. No, it's popular as fuck in Japan. Americans do fuck with Dragon Quest, but nowhere on the level that Japan fucks with Dragon Quest. The way Japan fucks with Dragon Quest is on some like new Pokemon game level kind of shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, where is it? Here's my wallet. Give me the game. DQ is one of the few IPs that still has that kind of pull over there in Japan. It's fucking nuts. Yeah, Lelouch, I heard that too. I did see that article where they were talking about changing the battle system. And I'm like, fuck, I just really got into it with 11. Don't do this to me. Because I thought 11 was great. I still think 11 is great. Let me enjoy my turn base a little bit more, you cowards. And I think that's what's going to hurt. And I think it's something we have to be honest about. The reality we need to be real about is that turn-based does not appeal to the wider audience to a degree. There are certain IPs that can still get away with it and still make a ridiculous amount of money. Persona and Shin Megami Tensei are good examples. Those are both turn-based RPGs. But I think the reality is if you want that big money, you want that like front billing kind of money, you ain't making turn-based RPGs. Which means games that are turn-based RPGs are in the back or in the middle, shuffling around in the middle / back, being like, why am I being ignored? Why am I being pushed aside? You're being pushed aside because you don't sell the way either A, you used to, or to not enough people. Dragon Quest XI sold 6 million copies with little marketing and a small budget. Turn-based combat not doing well is massive cap. It's not that it's not doing well, but like it's not doing. How do I put this? It's not what the people want. It's what people do fuck with it, but not everybody wants. Like if we're talking about current gaming trends, the current gaming trend is open world storytelling narrative games with action games with RPG elements. That's really what it is. When you think about the games that have blown up recently, it's action games or open world games with RPG elements. People fuck with RPGs in small doses. They like certain aspects of RPGs. They like the leveling up because they like to see themselves get stronger. They like the numbers because then they get to see themselves as more powerful. There are little victories in RPGs that people fuck with. They just don't want they don't want the battle system to be like the core standout feature. That's why you still got damage output on these fucking enemies when he fights them in 16. That's why you still got spells and magic and shit. Which is hilarious considering the game very much feels like it can low-key fall into a button masher without really any effort. And that's not even me being mean. It literally feels like a game that will eventually just boil down to just press a bunch of fucking buttons to do some combos. I like One Piece Odyssey even though it's turn-based. Well, see, One Piece Odyssey is different because they also got to realize that here's the problem with turn-based. Turn-based is great, but turn-based has the potential to get boring very fucking quickly. You can easily get boring. You can easily... Even people who love turn-based games will tell you there are plenty of portions in a turn-based game that are boring as fuck. One of which being you sitting there and grinding for levels and abilities and fucking weapons and caves and shit, and all you're really doing is you're holding down you're holding down the button, and you're just like this. You're just smacking the A button. You're just like, yeah. Let's go. You're not even worrying about strategy at this point. Yeah. Yeah, we're out here killing it. Woo. Woo. You get like 30 levels. Woo. Woo. Hurry. Hurry. And then oh shit. Isn't there a skip option? I can skip cutscenes. Click. Hurry. 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 I'm trying to get the fuck out of here. Ah. Like it's just... I mean, I don't mind action games as long as it's not Xenoblade 2 because holy shit. What? Jesus Christ. What does that even mean, Orion Sword? Xenoblade 2 is a good battle system. It's just not a well-explained battle system. It's a poorly explained battle system, but it is a good battle system. I will stand by that. I mean, the numbers don't support this, though. Metal Gear 5 barely sold 6 million copies. Metal Gear 1 is the top IP in gaming. Reality isn't flashy. That bag after the sales is reality. In all honesty, I would not mind seeing that for one game. What, real time? I mean, I don't know. See, people, I feel like... Okay, so here's my thing. I also don't want to deny those... Yeah, I would agree with bad latency. It's closer to that than action. It's not really an action game. None of the Xenoblade games I would consider straight on. Torno's probably the closest. I disagree. I still like 2s overall, but I can see people's argument. The thing about 3s is that 3's combat arguably is a combat system I thought I would fuck with because it's a mixture of both 1 and 2. And then I played it and I was like, this is kind of fucking redundant. Partially because one of the things about 2's combat that makes it fun is the fact that you can switch up blades who are on your characters, have them use different weapons. You get certain specials at level 4. You could do certain combos with them. Whereas with fucking Xenoblade 3, you're doing the same combo every time. It's every time you do that shit, it's the break, then it's topple, then you can fucking either launch or you can daze. And I'm just like, this shit doesn't get visually interesting. Actually, it doesn't get interesting until the Lucky 7 is introduced properly. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm fucking engaged. But no, the Lucky 7 just evolves into, okay, beat the enemy before the Lucky 7 runs out, or you're going to get your shit pushed in. And I'm just kind of like, oh, what are we doing? Help! Or at least it would not mind seeing another Codenames theme. I agree. Codenames theme is a fun game. I think that one would work good on console. That one's another one where it tries to cross like action elements with like turn-based like strategy. And I think the game is a really fun game. The only thing that kind of sucks is that you're doing a lot of like inch pushing. Like if you've ever seen or played Codenames theme, you're on a grid. There's every area has like a little block, and it takes up 1 gallon of steam or 1 puff of steam to make that move, right? Well, you can kind of inch yourself in a way to make certain shots. And I used to hate that shit. And then I realized, like, it makes it more interesting because the fact that I can kind of inch my way in means I can cheese and get shots that I really realistically normally wouldn't. But it runs the risk of me missing, which is why you have to pick and choose when you want to do it. Canceling Xenoblade 3 was pretty half-assed, honestly. Absolutely. Xenoblade 3 is a game to me that I think is okay, but I don't really like as much as I think I was going to. But that's also my issue because to me, Xenoblade 2 is like one of the best RPGs I've played in years. Like, arguably, it was my favorite RPG of this generation so far. So with that being knowledge, like, Xenoblade 3 had a hella big few shoes to fill, and it does not do it. In a numerous ways, but like, it just doesn't do it. It doesn't click. It doesn't make me go, fuck, I want to go back and play the DLC. Which reminds me, at some point, I got to play the DLC and get it when it comes out because you put my son in there. You put my son in there. He's all chatted up. He's Giga Chat. And he wants the smoke, ladies and gentlemen. He wants all the fucking smoke. Ooh. Oh, you Mr. Rexy. Oh, my Lord. At least you had Mithra, Pyra, and Nia in there being all blushy crushy. And it was over. It was absolutely over. I'm just looking at the gameplay for this. It's literally like just a low-key action game. And once again, you can't control your party members, so that's great too. Getting back to Zelda, it's going to easily do 30 million copies. It's already passed Splatoon and Pokemon in pre-sales, and it's topping the charts in multiple countries. Of course, Zelda, ironically enough, is the way I figured they would end the console cycle. And there's been rumors of, oh yeah, of course, Alvis. We gotta have the Alvis conversation. But Rex is a Giga Chad. We fuck with him. But Zelda, I imagine, would be the end of the console life. But there's been rumors about a new like Switch model, which I don't believe because we still got 2 more years of Scarlet and Violet. Hell, we haven't even gotten to the end of the first year for Scarlet and Violet. And then we still have another year of Splatoon DLC and Mario Kart DLC. So I can't imagine that the Switch is over yet. But like, it's interesting to me because remember, they technically did this with the Wii. The Wii started with Twilight Princess, like the GameCube ended with Twilight Princess, and the Wii ended with Skyward Sword. Like, oh, motherfucker. Don't you love when you get notifications when you're trying to have a conversation with your peoples? And there's nothing important going on anyway, shut the fuck up. That's me complaining about Discord being loud when I could just mute it. I could just mute it. Why haven't I muted it? Actually, you know what? Hold on. We're going to fix this right now. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, I know, I got it. We handled it. Discord is handled. It's no big deal. But that's besides the point. So yeah. But yeah, Zelda's gonna do gangbusters, I guess, which kind of always gets into the Switch 2 conversation and what's coming next because Zelda. Think about it. You got what? You got the Final Fantasy remakes, the Pixel remasters next week. You then also have Advance Wars next week, and then you have Zelda in May. You have nothing for June, but you have Pikmin 4 in July. And the question then becomes, how much more, and I mean this, how much more Switch will we have? And when will we get the upgrade? Because everyone's looking at the upgrade. Like last week, I think we talked about like PlayStation and their upgrades. They were about to get a fucking discless PlayStation with a disc attachment available. And then we're also about to get a fucking Pro. So you think we have another year, almost 2 years of the Switch? Well, no, the new Nintendo console, not necessarily a new Switch. One more big Mario game, maybe. That would make sense. But to me, if you're gonna do a big Mario game, this actually would have been the year to do it. You know, you got your movie coming out. There's a bunch of Mario promotion. It would have made the most sense to put out a Mario game, but maybe it just wasn't ready. I think Xenoblade 3 story DLC drops in June, maybe July at the most. Oh, absolutely. Ironically enough, Nintendo's gotten pretty good with the whole like DLC thing. Like they've had their hits and misses, obviously, because they're still learning. They're still learning the market. So we got some experimentation, but at this point, I think what we're really getting into now is Nintendo being like, all right, we'll have it supplement our shit. Remember, we're still getting new Mario Kart maps. We're still getting new Splatoon maps. We're still getting new stuff and updates and features. We still got DLC for like 3 fucking games to come out. Like, the shit's nuts. Super Mario 64, 2, let's go. So what? Super Mario 128? What would that even look like in 2023, realistically? If there's no new Mario Odyssey 2, I'm not interested. A new Mario game is way overdue. The Mario game will be the console seller of the next Nintendo console. That's actually what I was leaning towards too. If you got Zelda wrapping up the last couple years of the Switch, to me it would make more sense to have Mario start off the next generation of the Switch. When you think about 2017 gave you Splatoon 2, Mario Odyssey, and Breath of the Wild all in the same fucking year. On top of the other things like fucking Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and shit. Like, we got other games, even things that weren't crazy big, but still blew up in their own right, like fucking Snipper Clips. Like, we've had other things, but like, bro, if they're smart and they have it start with fucking a new Mario game, that shit is guaranteed to sell well. What the hell? Hold on, guys, 1 second. But yeah, I think the next Mario game launches with the new Switch along with Metroid Prime 4. Yeah, you know what? I think where we're at is this. If we know we got a direct coming in the next couple months, and they announced that whole Nintendo Live thing in September, but that'll be for like more of demos and shit. Meaning I'm expecting a direct in June or July. I'm leaning towards June, but it could easily be July. That we get one more direct. Because the other thing is this: we don't know anything that Switch has coming out in the latter half of this year. July is literally it. After July, we are fumbling in the fucking dark, looking like, where's the other game, bro? Where's the game? It's just, hold on, wait. We had Advance Wars, we had Zelda, we had Pikmin. F-Zero, it's over there. Wait. Star Fox, fuck. Hold on, I got it. Hold on, 1 second. Maybe I'm thinking too hard. Hold on. Balloon fight. I fucking nailed it. It's the next balloon fight. Like that's what we're doing. We're fumbling in the dark, looking for shit because we don't know. So we're gonna get a summer direct. And that direct will dictate how the rest of this year looks. And if it looks the way I'm thinking it's going to look. Because does anyone have any suggestions other than Metroid Prime 4? Or are people just assuming that Metroid Prime 4 is just next system? Alright, let's see. Nah, maybe 2024. New Doshin the Giant? What the fuck is Doshin the Giant? Is that a game? Are you fucking with me? Hold on. It's time to do some Googling. Oh, what the fuck? This thing. It's a god simulation game. I love how I pulled it up, and the first thing it says is Doshin the Giant. Doshin the Giant is a god simulation game developed by Param and published by Nintendo. Well, that's not even really Nintendo's game. That's more. It was on the GameCube, but it's not really Nintendo's game. Um, it was published by Nintendo for the 64 and GameCube. It was originally released in Japan in December 1999, as it lost game dent on the 64 DD peripheral on the N64. Got it. Gotta give Countryman 5 stars for that. Yeah, that's a hell of a reference. I'm not gonna bullshit you. I literally looked at him and went, "What the hell are you talking about?" And looked it up and went. And the funny thing is, I've seen his like trophy in Smash Bros. And never knew where he was from. But yeah, this summer's direct will dictate how I feel about a lot of things. To me, you got to show Metroid Prime 4. You really can't avoid not showing it in some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, I'm just going to assume it's new console material at this point. And I'm wondering if it's just because of how crazy they wanted to get with the fidelity of it all. Because that one, I think, is a game that probably would suffer because it's not visually appealing enough. I mean, it all fucking depends, but you know what I'm saying. Let's see. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping all over the place. I didn't really initially mean to do that, but that's where we're at now. It's also kind of funny because the first thing I saw was I looked on this news site, and the first thing I see is Hallmark's Nintendo ornaments for 2023 revealed. And what's the image they choose to use? Oh, Samus, because of course. But yeah, I think Nintendo will be fine up until July. June would be a good way of generating hype. I would use June to announce my summer, my fall, well, my late summer and fall games, because it's getting down to like this April now. Obviously, Boot Camp comes out next week, and then you got Zelda in a couple more weeks after that, and it's like things are about to get crazy up in here, promise you. I don't think it's the fidelity. The game has only been in development for 3-ish years. Rare was still hiring people for the project late last year. Especially, I won a star for Skrillex. That wouldn't be a bad idea, actually. Capcom just got to give me that Mega Man Legends Legacy Collection. So what, the first 2 games? Is that even really considered a collection at that point? It's more of a bundle of anything. And maybe they give you the code for Mega Man Legends 3. So Don could be sitting there with the controller in his hand, foaming at the mouth, and be like, oh, it'd be like this. Oh, I don't have any baking soda or anything to make my mouth foamy, but I have like water. Honey, you all right? No. So fucking stupid, bro. Legends 1 and 2 in the demo for 3. LMO. The demo that doesn't exist just look like the misadventures of Trombone. The point I'm making is they hired one of the leads from the recent Doom games for Prime 4, so you know it's gonna slap. Well, no, you can't not offer just one lead. I mean, we still got to see if they got time crunch. What's going on? We don't know what specifics have been going on, and with the Metroid Prime remaster. That's the other thing. There's a lot of hinting that we're gonna get something Metroid related. But my question, I guess, for you guys would be: is you think that's all we're getting, or you think there'll be more? Sorry. I'm texting back and forth. This isn't professional. But once again, I don't have a work shirt on, and it's Friday night, and I'm sick of this shit. I have problems, bro. I feel like I have low-key Tourette's, or if I'm just being absolutely unnecessary. I don't think we're gonna. Do you think we're gonna get another Metro remake that soon, like within the same year? At that point, you should have just made it as a collection. We've been hearing about what's been going on with their hires. From the original Halo trilogy devs, the Doom devs, Retro got some heat working on Prime 4. They have some potential heat working on Prime 4. We don't know the full heat because right now it's in the I don't know stage. You gotta show me a trailer. And I don't mean a fucking teaser. I need to see a full blown, like a good minute or so gameplay footage before I'm like, bro, this is about to slap so hard, my dick's gonna break off. Like it's not, we don't know. They'll announce something in June like Metroid Dread. Well, remember, we also don't have any E3. Oh, speaking of that, how do y'all feel about that? We ain't got no E3 anymore. The E3 Entertainment. Nintendo, it took Nintendo about 10 years, but they fucked the game up. Bro's coming in here looking like we shut down a whole organization, bitch. Don't fuck with us. Like, that's what it feels like. It very much feels like that's what happened. Because E3 was like gaming Christmas. I think that was openly acknowledged and enjoyed and respected. And we went from that to people being like, well, we're just going to put out our own stuff. And I'm going to be real with you. It's going to be a detriment for Sony and Microsoft. Probably more Sony as of recently. Mainly because these motherfuckers don't know how to make a presentation to save their goddamn lives. It's absolutely insane to me, bro. Why can't you make a good state of play? It's so bad. The last ones have been really bad, dude. Y'all don't understand. We've been hearing no. As much as E3 had fallen, I will miss it when it was really good. Oh yeah, of course. Speaking of which, when is the Mercury Steam gonna give us the Dread sequel? It's gonna happen. It's the best-selling Metroid game by far. I don't think they're worrying about it right now anyway because Dread isn't that old. And on top of that, if you're really putting out Metroid Prime shit, obviously you're trying to get ready for Prime 4, which makes me believe that they're focusing on the console games. Unless they want to do some extra shit and add in a secondary 2D game, but you never want to overload your audience on Metroid because you know that franchise isn't as goated in terms of sales as we would like it to be. Sony hasn't had a showcase since September 2021. Yeah, but I'm saying in terms of like their state of plays, their state of plays have been incredibly weak. Like they're like okay to like bad all the time. I haven't run into one that I went, oh my god, it's amazing. The one that got kind of close was the one where Capcom had to come in and save the content because nothing else was going on. As much as that may be true, the one thing that worked out well is that some devs got to meet the other devs from overseas, and it was way good networking that led to some collaborations. Right. Yeah, state of play has been insanely inconsistent, like offensively inconsistent. They can still do that. Microsoft is getting beat. Is betting its entire future on Starfield. Game looks good, but with Bethesda, so you know it'll be buggy. Yeah, betting on Bethesda in general. If anything, you should be working on trying to fix Bethesda's like tarnished appearance in the community because they're like respected because they have games that people fuck with, but they're also disrespected because they can't make anything competent. It's like, bro, like half of the reason why it's cool, it's like your cousin went and got some toothpicks and made a working car with a toothpick engine and everything, and you hit the gas and you're like, and it feels like wood creaking because it is all wood because toothpicks are made of wood, and you're just doing this just, and it's like this slow grill glide off the ground because it's a toothpick car. This bitch ain't gonna run like no fucking Ferrari, so you just like it's impressive. It's impressive because nobody has ever fucking done it. But is it impressive in comparison to an actual Ferrari? Oh, fuck no. Absolutely not. You fucking kidding me? Who gives a shit? But that, my friends, is besides the point anyway. Western gaming is falling in general. It's failing in general. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I might do? I think it's time for me to make a change with the visuals. I just realized this. All right, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me do something real quick. I don't know why I didn't think to do that before. I'm so stupid. I'm so sorry, guys. I apologize. I'm very sorry. But the point I'm making is, they never understand why Bethesda games are so popular. Because because we like open world titles. And to be fair, Bethesda does make some good games. It's just, they've trial and error, trial and error, trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. Like and when at first you don't succeed, I guess try again until you stop breaking things, or at least it's not broken enough for us to put out to the public to maybe kind of patch it over the next like few months to make oodles of cash to fund my alcohol addiction. And speaking of drinking, tastes like failure. What? Nothing. But this is problems were their own ownership. It was literally every movie villain except RL. There's plenty of void vids out there about it. Starfield will be the first game without that anchor. So if it's still trash, there is no excuse, essentially. Never understand what the Microsoft did once. Microsoft once said that they wanted to be the Bethesda of Japan, but glad they didn't. They did it without their games being a buggy mess. Absolutely. Bethesda isn't popular because of their open world. Their games were popular because they were actually the first to translate hardcore D&D RPGs into video games. Really? Well, I've learned something new. Oof. Hold on one second. The colon police is angry with me, and I need to take this call. I will be right back. I'm actually going to put this on. Actually, you know what? We're going to put on some nice Sonic music. We're going to put on one of the best Sonic tracks in the background, because Sonic has a goated soundtrack. But I don't feel like it gets as much love as it needs to. And if I get copyrighted, then screw it. Of course it's Sonic. What are you mad at? Actually, you know what? Can I? Ooh. I had an idea what I wanted to do. Ooh. We'll just do this. We'll do this. Oh dear, an angry caller? Possibly. But I'll be right back. Let me play this.
You proceed.
I fucked so hard with this music. You don't know.
This is what you need.
I'll lower it. I'm gonna let JJ rock. I'm gonna let JJ rock. JJ gotta rock. It get a rock. We'll cut it off after JJ, but like, I fuck with it. I fuck with it a lot. Yeah, I saw that Jet Set Radio tease, bruh. If Sega wants to get their shit together and start releasing some quality stuff, we forgot about that Samba de Amigo game we got coming. I'm like, alright, Sega, get on your fucking horse again. Now, Gary the hell is Crazy Taxi. It's just a question. Where is Nights? After that Bowling Wonderland piece of shit, we need some quality shit in here. All right, sorry. I'm being over extra. I will do that though, cause Sonic music is literally like my next to Pokemon music. This is it. I don't think they're gonna take a break all the way. But hey. Also, Yakuza seems like it's blown up in the last, I want to say 5 or so years. The Yakuza I knew of, but man, it is blown all the way up. Someone wrote me a fucking paragraph. Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right, sorry guys. I'm kind of just letting JJ rock. It's about done though. Alright, we'll stop. No, we can't let that replay. Chill out. We're good. We're gonna remute you. Alright. I didn't want to jam out for a second, but we'll chill out. Alright, we're good. Anyways, alright, let's stop. Fuck. What was the last thing we talked about? Oh my god, hold on. I forgot the other thing we brought up. No! Hold on. Sorry, hold on. Give me a second. I'm trying to retrace the conversation topics. Because obviously we have Tears of the Kingdom, but the problem is, like, Tears of the Kingdom, all I can really say about the trailer is, like, holy shit. Like, it looks so good. Why they got my man Link out here? Get all long hair swag. That man looks like a motherfucking Adonis in the making. Also, just to put this in context, we know that Matthew Mercer is the one that's going to be voicing Ganon. That means Chrom is Ganon. Oh, I didn't talk about the movie yet. I didn't talk about the Mario movie again. Hold on, let's just go ahead. Let's go ahead and continue. We're already on Tears of the Kingdom. Let's just go on. Let's continue. Yeah. All right. So anyway. Also Kanji is Ganon. Bro, it's fucking ridiculous. what is it? Mercer instead of Mercer. I always pronounce it as Mercer, but is it Mercer? Sorry, Mr. Mercer, sir. Sorry, Mr. Mercer. I just felt some type of way. I mean, Zelda's about as okay as she was originally. That's kind of where I was at with it. Hold on, just typing this. Um, Donnie, you a hating ass motherfucker. That's what you are. That's all I'm gonna just be real with you. I like the fact that you get to see the new generation champion, so you can tell that this game takes place in the continuation from the first game. It's not like Age of Calamity, which Age of Calamity essentially introduced another timeline. Actually, hold on, I'm trying to think. It's the failure timeline, the timeline where the future doesn't intervene, and the timeline where the future does intervene. The only thing about Age of Calamity I always thought was interesting is that Age of Calamity lets all the descendants of the champions go back into, this is spoilers for Age of Calamity, so if you haven't played it, I'm just gonna say it. And it's also been over a year, so you've had time, goddamn it. Um, the Age of Calamity essentially is the timeline in which the younger selves go back in time. I mean, the descendants go back in time to save their predecessors, then creating a new timeline with the predecessors still being the mainline champions through that timeline, even being able to be in the lives of their like loved ones. But my question is Tears of the Kingdom going to reference or like correlate those events? Because we know in Age of Calamity it's essentially an alternate reality of what's happening. Like Link earns his stripes differently. It's weirdly a prequel while also being like an alternate reality. But the question then is, will Tears of the Kingdom have any portion of the game where you'll lose access to like the main champions for a bit as they go into the past to save a previous future? Like the things that happen in Age of Calamity, is that like the thing that leads what we learn in Tears of the Kingdom of the reason why they felt the need to go back in the past and change the past, knowing it wouldn't change their future, because if it did, then it would be essentially a paradox. All they're doing is creating a split timeline. Objectively speaking, Nintendo kind of cheated by doing the same style trailer for Tears of the Kingdom. So of course it was going to be amazing. That's true, but would you want them to not use a winning formula? God damn it! Taba has retired and let his son do the work. Taba has retired and let his son do the work. Well, no, potentially. Age of Calamity won't be. Well, to be fair, you wouldn't mention it anyway, because the only people who know about Age of Calamity would be Sidon, Riju, is it Young Yonobo or Yojimbo? I forgot to pronounce his name, and then Teba. Like, those would be the ones who would know about it. The only thing I would be curious of is do like. They don't want me to have peace, y'all. They won't shut the fuck up on the phone. But my question is, does Zelda or Link or any other major character know about them time hopping? It feels like, I don't know. It feels like to have a game like Age of Calamity and then not do anything with the story, it seems like a little bit of a waste. But it would explain why we're also getting like a newer generation of heroes. Like, obviously, the new generation we met in Breath of the Wild is meant to be the replacement for like Urbosa, Daruk, Rivali, and Mifa, right? But we also meet like younger. We even meet newer like Gerudo, fucking fuck. What's the bird people call Rito, Gorons, and well, actually, we don't see anyone younger in the Zora domain, so I'm not sure on that one. Age of Calamity is its own thing, and I seriously doubt it'll have any bearing on the Tear Kingdom story. It'd be kind of cool if it did, though. Because you forgot something, Terrell. When they came to the future, to the past, the little guardian called them. Yeah, but the little guardian, that would have still had some. I'd be curious if it has any effect. It also depends on when in time. The fact that they also knew what they were doing is another thing. Like, they came in immediately knowing that they gotta go save their friends. I don't know. Maybe I just think it'd be kind of cool to tie an Age of Calamity, but maybe that's me overthinking it. It's fine. It's fine. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I had a thought. I thought it was a cool thought. Y'all can't let me have nothing. Damn. The thing is, I don't really want to talk about mechanics. You get a lot of cool sequences. You get to build like this cool robot. You get to do like fly in the air. I'm curious what the anti-gravity sections are, because you already have means to travel between islands. So is the anti-gravity section a part of a story thing, or is it like a certain portion of the sky that loses even more gravity? Like is it like it'd be kind of a cool thing if like there was a dungeon that was all based around you losing and regaining gravity at certain points in the level. Sidon is the new king of Zora's domain now that he's wearing the crown. Which means that even though he would be still considered the champion, he could be raising, obviously, young new warriors for like, he'd be raising the next generation of warriors. Teba's son makes sense. I'm gonna fuck up the Goron's name like I've been. I'm just calling him Yo Jimbo. Yo Jimbo! Yay, what's up, Jim Jam? How you doing? If anyone gets the reference and going for there, it'd be ridiculous. What are you wanting Tears of the Kingdom to add onto the Breath of the Wild base? In terms of gameplay, I mean, we've already kind of seen what they're going to do. I think at this point, people are just considered, like, just off the skill set we've seen Link have. And my question is, he probably doesn't have any of his Sheikah Slate abilities anymore, but if he does, that'd be kind of cool. But let's go with the logic that he doesn't. I think his base abilities will create more interesting and fun gameplay anyway. Because let's be real here, Cryonis was a cool ability, but wasn't used as much in comparison to the others. The main two abilities that were used a lot, actually I think the main thing that was used a lot was the Time Stop. The Time Stop was the thing that was abused to fuck. The Time Stop and then the fact that you can add in Riju looks badass. Oh, absolutely good. Yeah, she's that woman. She's Queen Biatch. Shit. But yeah, with the new powers we got, and that's the question if that's all the powers we got, because I don't know. There's a lot of potential. Also, I think the thing I'm probably the most interested in is that the side quests are going to be a lot more interesting. The biggest issue I think I had going with Breath of the Wild is that Breath of the Wild has a good chunk of side quests that are really fucking cool. It has a bunch of them that are just throwaway. And not saying that couldn't easily be the case for this game, but what I'm saying is when you have like more people in the towns and the world feels more alive and you can interact, you can create posses and shit. The fact that they got gameplay sections where I get to fight with my boy, if I get to fight with Sidon, I get to fight with Riju, like that's cool shit. That's all right. Those are like cool implications because now it makes for cool ass set pieces. But it also means that there might be some trade-off for freedom. Because unlike the first game was everything went to shit, Ganon won, you had to figure out what's going on and if you can help anybody and meet these new people along the way, right? That's what the first game was. The second game seems to be a lot more scripted with story and things you can and can't do. Yeah, you get to fight with the champions and build an army. So this game will actually be more story driven or more, not locked in, but more like your goal isn't just go fight Ganon again. Like you actually have to let certain story parts play out. And I'm curious how people are going to feel about it. Because one of the coolest things about Breath of the Wild is that Breath of the Wild was very much a game whose main mantra was on the front of the fucking cover and never lied to you, which was freedom. That's literally what it was. You can do anything you want and you have essentially almost no restrictions in doing it. You can go anywhere you want to go. You can fight anyone you want to fight. If you are willing to figure it out on how to do it, you can do it. There's nothing stopping you from doing it other than your own mind for lack of creativity. And with that acknowledgement, then the question then becomes, with you knowing that and understanding that, the second game unfortunately can't maintain that. It can't, because if it did, that means that you would be stuck with another bare bones situation. But remember, we thought that Breath of the Wild was gonna have a deep story when we saw the trailer. That is true. But I don't. Ooh, well, it could be memories again. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, obviously, the job of the trailer. The job of the trailer is to make the game seem as interesting as possible. So you could easily be right, Andrew, that like it's making the game seem like it's gonna be a lot more when it ends up not being at all. So I'm not gonna deny the reality that you are currently giving me. But I'm gonna go off I'm gonna go off the inclination because it creates more interesting dialogue. I'm gonna go off the idea that it will be more. It will be as more than the first game by a substantial bit, right? And giving me the ability to fight with with the champions, interact with even a newer generation, figure out who these ancient people are that are like with Zelda or maybe trapping Zelda, the revival of Ganon, like all that shit. And like there's so much I don't get. People complain so hard on Breath of the Wild story. I'm like, I'm weird, I like it, whatever. People complain about it because they wanted to know everything. Zelda has developed a fan base that wants to know anything and everything. So when you develop a fan base that is curious about every little thing you do, then guess what that means? That means that anything you don't give or you don't show or you don't tell or any of that stuff will bother the fuck out of people. And that's what happened. Breath of the Wild didn't give as much as they wanted, and it just drove people insane. Yeah, we still don't even know the answer to the shrine conversation. The shrine conversation is still up in the air. No pun intended. I don't get people who complain, but yeah. When it comes, because here's my thing. I think one of the more memorable sections in Breath of the Wild is some of the outdoor puzzles, or some sections like in Zora's Domain, where you had to climb that mountain, but you had to do it like legitimately. You couldn't just like climb your way up there. And to be arguing, you could have actually still done it that way, depending on how you approach that area. But if you approached it the way the game wanted you to approach it, like, that was a hell of an experience. That's like one of my favorite experiences, especially the Lino you fight at the very top. It's just it's a cool set piece without being completely scripted. Like, there's a partial script in there, but it's not completely scripted. Do you think the guy in the front of the moon is Demise? Do you think, well, the problem is that this game takes place before Skyward Sword, but Demise is meant to be like the prototype of Ganondorf. So with that being acknowledged, does that mean, is it fucking up the canon, or is it I don't know. And it's weird because he looks like based off the little I saw, Ganon looks like his almost like a, ooh, I'm trying to think of the best interpretation. Kind of like his Twilight Princess appearance. That's right, the closest. It's like a mix between Wind Waker and Twilight Princess Ganon. Demise is dead, and the game does not take place before Skyward Sword. Or it doesn't? Oh, then this would. Oh, so this would be. If that's the case, that means in this game would be the first canon appearance of Ganon. This is Ganon's first canon appearance. In the timeline, at least. Because this game takes place, I guess, after Skyward Sword. Demise is not dead, he's sealed. Well, the argument is that Demise and Ganon are either... Alright, so here's my thing. Is Demise and Ganon the same person? Or are they the same entity? That's my question. Can Demise and Ganon be the same person? Or is Demise meant to be a version, like the ancestor of Ganon? Like, because my idea is that it starts as Demise and then it transforms into Ganon's first physical, like, true form as Ganondorf. Like, is this game going to show us the origin of Ganondorf? Is my question, or show Demise's transformation into Ganondorf? And then my question also becomes, if we get the Ganondorf I'm thinking we're getting, which is like this like normal looking Gerudo male who is an absolute problem, and I mean that like in the most literal way. Like, I hope there are sections where he just starts doing whatever the fuck he wants to do. He starts attacking villages, casually walking up with motherfuckers. Link can't beat him the first time. No, but I know he never showed up in any other Zelda game, but what I'm asking is, was a Zonai speaking to Zelda in the trailer? I don't know. Ganon is more or less the futile, the one to fulfill his curse. So there's a way that he could technically Demise could just create Ganondorf. I don't know. I'm just saying. I feel like this is gonna be the origin of Ganondorf in this film, and that might be what's going on. But then it questions why. You know what? I think this might be better for me not to go into, only because I am not a huge Zelda fan in the sense that I played every game and I know every piece of lore. And because of that, I'm bound to get a bunch of shit wrong. So instead of embarrassing myself in doing that, maybe it would be better if I just let the theorists and the fans do that. Yeah, Donnie, that's why I said I'll probably be quiet. Let me get off of that. Also, side note, I still had Chinese food here. So give me a second. I'm doing everything on this motherfucking shrimp pan. The kicker is I started trying to play Wind Waker. I just didn't get as far into it as I wanted to. But real quick, let me look at something real quick. Let me look. Because we see a lot of stuff, but we don't see. But like some of it goes by really quickly, so I had to slow down. Let me see. It's obvious some of the areas from the first game are now being in the process of being rebuilt. And we got societies growing. I wonder if this will tie in with your save data from Breath of the Wild. Like if there were certain things you did in Breath of the Wild, it means you would have like a further along quest line in Tears of the Kingdom. That'd be kind of cool. Since, you know, same kingdom anything anyway. I also find it interesting that they show what looks like Ganon with long hair in the beginning of the trailer, and then they show Ganon the way he looks and his hair is short. So are those the same character, or is that first thing Demise and the second thing is Ganon? Or maybe I'm tripping. I'm not sure. Are these constructs things that like were made specifically to defend against Ganon or Demise or what? I think it's a flashback of Demise. Why would you think it's a flashback specifically? Or is that just a feeling you have or opinion? I think this game's focus might be the underground or essentially the shrines. Because the other thing I know is that we don't see any shrines whatsoever or even hints of shrines, unless I'm wrong. I'm also curious if things like, yeah, the first game did have a lot of flashbacks. You're right. The other thing you could do is, fuck, I lost my train of thought. Oh, to tie the two games together. Depending on how much map completion you did, you essentially would just import that map over. Because it's like, hey, you went through the first game, and you like did, I don't know, 80% of the maps in the area in the world. So because of that, that means you also in the sequel have that at least that amount mapped out already. that'd just be interesting. I don't know if it would be crazy beneficial, but it'd be a nice carryover. Like you and Zelda went and mapped out the area, so now the area is mapped out. Actually, the fucking hell, and Juice is even wrong from when he told me the fucking trailer now is at 5.7 million views, so it's gone up again. Ganon is essentially the reincarnation of Demise, the same as Zelda is the reincarnation of the goddess, and Link is the reincarnation of the hero. So they're all just stuck in their role to doom to play it over and over and over again, 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 again. Oh, I'm gonna stop. That's crazy. Oh shit. They need to spite Final Fantasy 16. Technically, when you succeed, you're always spiting somebody. You killing them with success. Sorry, guys, home. I feel like I've been all over the place on this fucking stream. It's ridiculous. But we're here and we're about it. Okay, we're about it. That's just 300 views at that point, isn't it? If you're a man on the mission, do it. Go for what you need to go for, man. We all, oh, fuck me. Oh. Fuck me, hold on. We're gonna get rid of hiccups. Hold on a second, hold on. This shit always happens to me, man. It's always some shit. I hate it. If I remember correctly, the trick to get rid of hiccups is to hold your breath and then suck in again after 30 seconds. So first thing is I think that did it. I'm surprised that worked. Because I thought my hiccups would prove me wrong immediately. They did fight. They fought on the first 2 go-arounds, but we got it. So, suck in 10 seconds. Suck in again, another 10 seconds. Suck in again, final 10 seconds. And then 30 seconds of holding your breath is gone. That's besides the point. I feel like I'm all over the place on this one. I really wrote you. I apologize if this seems hella random. It just feels like I've been bouncing a lot. But I mean, Zelda looks good. It looks real good. It looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. There's gonna be a lot of entertainment. There's gonna be a lot of interesting conversation around it. And I will be there to watch theory videos and crafting videos of talking about the future of the series and what this game means. But you know what we probably should talk about? How about that Advance Wars bundle, right, guys? Who's getting that comes out next week, right? Right? It feels like that game has kind of screwed itself and not intentionally. It's just the position it finds itself in, which sucks. Oh wait a minute, did they get? Oh, there was new gameplay for this. Oh, they must have. Okay, they were allowed to play some of the gameplay because there's this gameplay of Advance Wars out. It came out a couple of days ago. Why didn't no one bring this up? What the fuck? Yeah, nobody brought this up. Hold on. I'm glad I was thinking about it. Because I definitely wanted to get it. I'm just curious now. But is anyone getting Advance Wars in the chat out of curiosity? I know everyone's on that Zelda, but you know, just saying. Because the remake looks... Wow, Donnie, what the fuck, bro? What you got against Way Forward? Will Tears of the Kingdom actually have voice acting like each dialogue? We'll see. I doubt it, but we'll see. I support the game, but it probably won't play anytime soon. Is it just poor timing? I'm trying to think. The rest of this month, there's nothing really else coming out, right? In general. The next thing is Zelda, which comes out like 2 or 3 weeks later. I want to say 3 weeks. No, it's probably like 2 weeks. Well, it's probably 2.5 going on 3 weeks. Congrats on 12,000 subs. I've had 12,000 before. The question is, can I get myself to 13? Because I've been in 12,000 for a little bit too long. But I'm hoping to put out more content to maintain interest because I keep fluctuating because of it. But appreciate the support app, man, either way. I just want to call you 136. That's how many women you getting. Star Wars Jedi Survive. Oh, shit. I forgot about Star Wars. When does that come out? I might get the Mega Man. I might get the Final Fantasy collection. The other one, the Mega Man one, I'm not in a hurry for, honestly. Well, not that one. Hold on. I'm trying to look up real quick. April 28th? Really? Shit. Oh, man, that's gonna hold. That's absolutely gonna hold Advance Wars then. I mean, Advance Wars will at least get a week to itself, but it's gonna struggle a little bit against Star Wars because it's fucking Star Wars. And that kind of sucks. Let me see. I need... How are people been feeling about Star Wars Jedi Survive? Because I feel like I just completely forgot about it. It's not me being mean. It's just I just kind of forgot about it. Jedi Survive. I didn't spell Survive right. I already know that. Yeah, I didn't spell Survive right. Hold on. They actually give me genuine stories of Jedi surviving. They took the first game and turned it up to 11. It's going to be great. I'm glad you're excited for it. I feel bad, though, because I want another Advance Wars game, and I need this game to do well. Especially considering how much hell this game has been in. Partially, mainly due to shit that wasn't even their control. They just got thrown under the bus because, you know, Ukraine and shit. I'm so upset with the state of gaming lately. Where's the spark of inspiration? The endless possibilities from the 90s to 2000 to 2010s, man. I mean, it depends. What, like, you gotta give me some examples of games that you couldn't get now that you could get back then. There is a level of homogenization that's happened. I'm curious to believe what extent you believe it is, though, because that'll dictate a lot once I figure that out. Which is why I'm asking. So tell me, the middle market died. That's all that happened. You mean for like the double A experience? Is that what you mean, Chidori? That it became either about single A, which would be things like indie games, or triple A, which I guess are high budget, high end games like The Last of Us or Ghost of Tsushima, or even Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Even though I think Zelda, the first Zelda was the first time that he needed to make a good amount of money to justify what they put in, and I think it was like 3 million they had to make. So nailed it, crushed it, and then kept selling like it was fucking crazy. Wow, did you just say Breath of the Wild 2 is double A? You can go get the hell out of here, bro. Donnie's a problem, which means you shouldn't listen to Donnie. Because Donnie's always a fucking problem. He's trolling you, don't mind him. He's lying like he always do. Because I'll bring you around, bring you around. $90, Tin the Cures, AAA, Tears of the Kingdom. No, wait. Wait, did I read that right? Oh. Tears of the Kingdom is AAA 70. TF is $70. Oh, the fuck, it's $70. Yeah, because they didn't do the AAA thing when then they waste money on shit. Okay, I see what you're saying. The fuck, that's what it's supposed to be. For some reason, I was trying to decipher the word. Like, I know I'm older, but good God, that's so dumb. Stuff like that across consoles. TS mostly, it feels like they're in a swamp, like COD, for example. As well as a seamless open world, while emphasizing is struggling to squeeze through walls and loading times. Listen, it's the graphical fidelity punishment. The punishment for punishment is that he needs to say something positive about Final Fantasy 16. Go! And then I can disagree with it because I think it's funny. How do you feel about Netflix supposedly making a live adaptation of One Piece? I'm not happy about it. You know why? Of all the live action adaptations you were going to do, One Piece is the hardest to do because of how goofy and Looney Tunes-esque it is on nature. Which is actually incredibly fitting considering what's happened in the manga from, I don't know, months back. But still, flexibility is key if you want to maintain an open mind and listen to everyone. It's very tiring, it's very exhausting, but you can get through it. I promise you. I promise. You can make it through this. You can make it through this, and you can do anything. You can, yes, say it again. You can do anything you want to do. For some reason, my brain kicked that in and made it think it was a fucking Denzel Washington impression. So I just said it the way he says it, and he says it with the words, the way you're supposed to speak it. Those words, God damn it, those words you know how to speak with your hands. I got nothing positive to say about 566. Jesus Christ, Punishment. Nothing, bro. That's crazy. Why even make a live action anime movies if they're gonna flop anyways? Because for some reason they think live action isn't interesting to people, and they don't realize what actually happens is they come home, they go in their rooms, and they come over here, and they turn out the lights. They get in the darkness with a bowl of Cheerios and depression. I'm going to move mine, though, because, the food's gone. Actually, I need those in the trash. I'll be right back. Let me throw those in the trash. Ugh. I forgot the joke I was making. The joke I was making was ruined. I'm so sorry, y'all. Also, the camera went out of focus like a motherfucker. Let's see. Alright. Oh my god. Camera, refocus. Oh no, I'm too black. Hold on. That kind of works. I never try to do like a darkness. Darkness says stream. It's a darkness what says stream. Okay? Games costing as much as movies, high-end production is a problem, especially when it becomes easier to make never to make the games. 10 million was seen as a triple A in 2005. Now 100 million is triple A. And inflation of it's gonna get worse. Absolutely. Monolith Soft is the one in the same for Nintendo that seem to have gotten it figured out. The problem is that hell the stream. Maybe I should have read it from the top, because here how I see Breath of the Wild is a AA game with some AAA aspect in terms of production. Well, maybe it's not eligible. Maybe it's not the English dub. That's like a C minus. The problem is how extreme AAA budget has gotten, and how it would have even been. You would even come up with a reasonable AA budget, and then they leave. Yeah, and then they leave. Yeah, sorry. I read that out of order, so it kind of confused me. Something about anime fans sitting in the dark with chips or something. I blame Sony, probably. One of the reasons why some games don't need a full voice acting for mocap. You just gonna sit in the dark? Yes, I'm gonna sit in the dark. Because I'm all alone. And no one will be here to find my cold, lifeless body if something were to happen. Actually, that's the joy of living on your own. You always have the running risk of death and no one be able to save you because no one knows you're here. And this is why the reason why a lot of guys and gals want a significant other. Because nobody wants to be lonely, lonely, lonely. Once again, I feel like things have gotten out of hand. I apologize, but still. You walked into darkness. My old friend. How are you doing? Soda-san. What's that behind you? It's the Grim Reaper. Actually, it's the collection of like some of my games in anime. Yeah, some of my games in anime. So there are things here. But listen. The darkness will eventually overtake you. The kicker is because of the brightness of the screens, that's why I'm not just in straight darkness. Although I could just flip this back on. Also, side note, did anyone play Pokemon Stadium on their Switch today? Because it's out. It's enjoying for you. The collection is coming for your life. Which is funny because I just bought another game. Not another game, but another thing for my collection. Also, side note, I have over $1,000 of content sitting in a room because people are willing to buy it because it makes a lot of money. Give an example. Something I haven't shown off in a while, but I found it the other day is this beauty right here. This is the Monster Musume Collector's Edition. Or actually it's like limited edition. So this thing is, you would think, well, time for me to go. Alright, night, Donnie. But yeah, this is the Collector's Edition for Monster Musume. This is important for one particular reason. Now, if you all know, Monster Musume was only a 12-episode series with a bunch of like OVAs. But it wasn't anything crazy other than being a Monster Girl-focused harem anime that had a pretty good budget and some high-quality uncensored Blu-rays. Well, the limited edition went all out. And it's a fucking masterpiece. Here's the kicker, though. It's also out of print because it's, a limited fucking edition. The reason why this is important is because if I was ever strapped for cash, which, being a homeowner, that will always happen to me. But the point is, if I was strapped for cash, I could sell this box set. Now, here's the kicker. This box set, I think, goes for about 500 online and on like eBay and shit. Just as I have it right here. But do you know how much this bitch would go for if this bitch was still wrapped in its original plastic and had no real blemishes on like the actual collector's edition or limited edition itself? Oh, this motherfucker would go for almost $2,000. Yes, I'm not joking. $2,000 for a 12 anime box set with OVAs with a bunch of titties and monster girls in it. Go for a lot of fucking money. Here's another thing that would go for a lot of fucking money. I don't think I have the other thing in here, do I? I don't think I do. No, I don't. Okay, so the other thing that would go for a lot of money is this. So you're probably wondering, what is this? Well, Zatch Bell is a show that I believe in total has 150 or so episodes, but the Americans only dubbed all the way up to episode, I believe, 105, right? Well, this is the box that includes all 105 dub episodes of Zatch Bell. Now, in that in itself wouldn't be a big deal. I mean, you make me wonder, why the hell would this be as much? Because this is also $500 or so in terms of worth. We know why? Well, there's two reasons. One, this collection isn't being printed anymore, so you can't get this anywhere else because not like new, because the person who printed it doesn't print them anymore. The other thing is this: when they were releasing these bitches on like single DVDs, the major difference is they only released maybe up until the first season's box, so that means it would be. It doesn't split them up, does it? No, it does. Okay. So that means that it would be the entirety of this first box set. All the episodes, which I believe, like I said, is like the first 50-some episodes, right? And then, but the kicker is that season 2 never got released on like DVD. So this is actually the first time the dub episodes of Zatch Bell season 2 are physically available, which I mean, I guess kind of jacks up the price a bit. So yeah, I have a very expensive thing. Ooh shit, I almost dropped it because I'm highly irresponsible. Fun fact is, I actually still have some boxed Amiibo that I don't know if they would go for anything. Because I don't know if Amiibo are really worth anything currently, but I'm just bringing it up to bring it up. But that's kind of irrelevant. I'm just talking out of my ass, it feels like. I remember playing Zatch Bell on GameCube. Oh, yeah, I know, doing my Moto Battle. Good game. But a hard son of a bitch. But good game, I liked it. Ow. But yeah, that's that. You know, you're talking about the manga. The manga is coming back because the manga has its sequel out, but I don't know about the anime. I feel like we've gone into a completely different zone here. I wasn't trying to go this far into it, but still. You got an overall clone, it's fire. That's a weird statement. That's true. So weird. But we have hit the 2-hour mark, so I think it's time for us to get out of here. I don't think there was a stream tonight. Well, Richie's streaming, so I will link Richie's Twitch stream for you guys to go check out. Tomorrow on my Twitch, we will be doing what we'll be doing. We'll be doing Elden Ring. So if you want to see more Elden Ring from me tomorrow, check out my Twitch stream for tomorrow because it'll be Elden Ring, and I will die, and I will get angry. All right, I'm gonna stop. But in all seriousness, though, thank you guys for watching. Hope you're excited for Tears of the Kingdom, or Advance Wars, or even Final Fantasy 16. Alright, sorry, it was the force that had. It was the force that had. I apologize. Listen. The point is, be excited for what you want to be excited for. The future of gaming is now. Play PlayStation. Fuck, no. Play Nintendo Switch. Fuck, no. I'm not sure. Hold on. Watch Richie play Five Nights at Freddy. Woo! Please watch him play Five Nights at Freddy. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Watch the Elden Ring stream. Life's a game. Play the win. Oh shit. Win. Play the win. Please. Play the win.